All right, fentanyl is going to be on the table. Soybeans, fentanyl, tariffs, and rare earths. Joining us to talk a little bit about this, former National Security Council Chief of Staff, my pal Alex Gray. Alex, welcome back. Alex, I'm going to take you back. G20 meeting, November 2018 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. We were heavy into the Chinese negotiations. It was a bilateral dinner with Presidents Trump and Xi. I was part of the U.S. team. The very first thing that President Trump said to Xi was, will you please stop the fentanyl, stop the manufacturing of the fentanyl, and actually wanted the capital punishment. And Xi said he would. Xi said he would. That was 7 years ago, Alex Gray. 7 years ago, he said he would stop the fentanyl, and he hasn't yet. So I'm pleased that there's a transaction here, and that Mr. Trump, who's, tough hombre, good negotiator, I'm pleased. But I just wonder, Alex, how much can you ever believe Xi?
Well, Larry, the Chinese Communist Party is a party that exists out of duplicity and dishonesty. That's their modus operandi. And I think we also have to remember, no one has ever understood the Chinese Communist Party the way Donald Trump does. He was the first president in the history of this country to shift our policy toward China by acknowledging that they are the fundamental adversary they face. That was the 2018 national security strategy. You and I were both there. Yep. That was a historic moment for how we view China. And then I think the president, in the clip you showed, said something very important. He said, they're going to have to deal with him. This is about Donald Trump, a statesman on the world stage, rather than just the anonymous American bureaucracy. You notice in 2018, Larry, after that meeting you mentioned, President got some concessions from the Chinese, and right thereafter we went into COVID, and then we had 4 years of Joe Biden where absolutely nothing happened except appeasement of the CCP. Now Donald Trump is back in the saddle, and I think based on his past record, we have every reason to think that if anyone can compel the CCP to stop their usual tactics, it would be Donald J. Trump.
Well, I like that. I like the logic. I agree with you, Alex. It's just that, Mr. Trump can't literally make them do it, but we'll see how it plays out. Here's one thing that I really like. On this trip, he's made trade deals and essentially national security links. Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Australia, Japan, okay? I'll add South Korea to it also. But basically, there's a sort of encirclement of China there. They're on our team, it seems to me. And if that's true, Alex, that's a very good thing indeed. And by the way, it just shows how trade is part of national security. Supreme Court, are you listening? But how about the encirclement? You like that?
I love it, Larry. Economic security is national security, as the president has said time and time again. I'm also waiting for all of the Washington establishment types to rescind their columns saying that Donald Trump is a 1920s isolationist. Every time he's on the world stage, bestriding the world stage, dominating the global agenda, this is a guy who's about as far from an isolationist as possible, and he's building a global coalition to do what no president has done in our lifetime, which is to take the China threat seriously and array all of our national power, economic, security, diplomacy, to contain the CCP threat. And I think that's a historic trip that we're watching before our very eyes.
I think it's very important that the Supreme Court go with Trump on IEPA, the International Emergency Economic Policy. It's very important for all the reasons that you just said. Anyway, Alex Gray, former NSC Chief of Staff, thank you, my friend. We appreciate it.